South Carolina Highway Patrol, aka South Carolina State Troopers, will now be employing Dodge Charger 5.7 Hemis, not only illegally tinted. Notice I say illegally tinted because it's illegal, but I guess the police are above the law, so they can do that. Not only illegally tinted, but also they'll come with racing stripes so that you don't know that they're cops and they can blend in. YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Knockout360 here with another video for you guys. As you can tell, I'm in a car. That makes this a car vlog. You already know what's going down when I come around. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Car content, car shows, car reviews, car meets, anything and everything car related happens on this channel, man. So if you're into that, make sure that you stick around, man, because you will not want to miss out what's coming next, man. For everyone else, hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you know what's coming out and when it's coming out, right? So let's go ahead and get into it, man. All right, guys. So the topic of this video, man, is first, I'm going to try to do this video as quick as I can because it's hot as hell, and I'm going to try to beat the heat before the heat beats me. So if you see me stopping and wiping my head like a preacher, it's because it's 90 degrees outside and I'm in the car, and this is kind of my mobile office. So getting to the video, man, recently we've been talking a lot about police, and we've been talking a lot about state troopers, sheriffs, cops, things of that sort, and the methods that they've been using to essentially crack down on aggressive driving, street racing, I guess outlandish driving, whatever the case may be. Just reckless driving. Reckless driving, that's the term I was looking for. South Carolina State Troopers have taken it to another level at this point. So we've already talked about how they like to use unmarked Dodge Chargers. We've talked about how they like to use unmarked Dodge Challengers. We've talked about unmarked Ford Mustangs, Dodge Durangos. These are the cars that you can pretty much expect. Is a 25 to I'd say 40% chance that it could be a cop behind you, right? We've talked about that. But 9 times out of 10, those cars are either silver in blacked out tint or they're black with blacked out tint. And it's just one of them things where you have to give it a second look to see whether or not it's a cop before you decide to do whatever you're going to do. Well, cops are making that even harder. Now, the state of South Carolina, I'm looking at an article here. South Carolina Highway Patrol unveils new unmarked patrol cars, highway safety efforts. That's the name of the title. So what does that mean? They will be releasing this weekend, July 4th weekend, obviously because of the travel and I guess the expected traffic that they're going to be having in the state of South Carolina. They're going to be bringing new Dodge Charger 5.7s that not only are blacked out, but they have racing stripes on them. So in this particular picture, you'll see a black Dodge Charger, blacked out tint, illegal tint. We've already talked about that, right? I mean, it's illegal. They're cops. I guess they can do that, right? They're above the law in that sense. Blacked out Chargers with silver stripes going down, silver racing stripes, the dual silver racing stripes that you see everybody putting on their damn Dodge Chargers, because that's a common decal. That's a common, it's getting too hot. I'm sorry. That's a common, that's a common theme that a lot of people go with their Dodge Chargers. They go with the dual racing stripes, whether it's a SRT body or it's a RT body. That's something that they go with. So a black Dodge Charger with silver stripes on it. They've got a white Dodge Charger with red stripes on it. And then they've got another white Dodge Charger with blue stripes on it. So now not only are they creeping up on you in 5.7s or Dodge Chargers, now they want to blend in even further by putting racing stripes on their car. Now, if you're like me, I'll be honest with you, before all of this stuff started happening and cops started cracking down like crazy, I would be driving and I'd see a Charger pull up next to me and I'd give them a quick look and I'd look to see how everything checks out. Now, there's one telltale sign that still leads them to looking like cops. I'll tell you that in a minute. But there was, I would pull up in a car with a Charger would pull up next to me and I would look at it up and down. The first thing that I would do is look at the wheels. I would look at the wheels because all of those 5.7 Charger cop cars, they all have the same rims. They all have the same ride height, which is, that 5.7 RT body, which is much higher than a Scat or anything like that. I would look at the tint. If it was blacked out, that would just kind of add to my suspicion. If it had those state trooper like rims, that would add to my suspicion. At which point I would deduce that that's a state trooper. I'm not messing with you. But if you had decals on your car or you had stripes on your car, it was pretty much fair game. That's one of the homies. Why? I've never seen a cop car with stripes and decals on it. That's just me personally. I know you guys probably have. Every city and state municipality is different, but I have never personally seen a state trooper or a city cop car with stripes on it with decals and all that stuff. So whenever I saw a car with decals and stripes on it, I immediately assume, okay, so that's one of the bros. It's all good because no cop has stripes on it. Well, the state of South Carolina has taken that to a new level. They now have Chargers 5.7s with the dual racing stripes on them because they want to quote unquote blend in. In other words, they want you to assume that you're just a regular citizen driver in a 5.7 and that you might want to play around. Now, where this becomes an issue is not only that, it's kind of a passive form of baiting you into doing something, but where it becomes a little more sinister is that I've seen reports and heard of reports. One of my homeboys actually, this happened to him, where cops, state troopers in these unmarked Chargers, unmarked Challengers, unmarked Mustangs are pulling up next to guys like myself in the 392s, Hellcats, other RT, so on and so forth, cars that are modified and look like they're meant to go. They're pulling up next to us and baiting us into running them. And by that, I mean revving their engine, honking their horn, speeding up a little bit. They'll pull up next to me on the highway, take off, you know, within the speed limit. Because think about it. If the speed limit is 70 and they pull up next to you, maybe you're doing 60. They may blast off and do 75, which is still within, I guess, the normal parameters of what you could and could not be arrested for or pulled over for as far as speeding is concerned. And then basically baiting you into taking off on them and getting into a road race, a street race, or whatever the case may be. And then once they can kind of bait you into doing something wrong, whether it be reckless driving, whether it be, you know, there was this law where if you took off too hard in your car and your tires started spinning, they would, oh man, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like an improper start or something like that, that they could actually hit you with, which is a form of reckless driving because your tires are spinning, you don't have grip, you don't have traction, therefore you aren't in control of your car, therefore it's considered reckless driving. Any way that they can get you, they will get you, whether they're baiting you into racing them or whether they just happen to pull up on you and you just happen to already be racing. But that leads you to another thing, is that now you have to watch out for every damn Mopar that's on the street. Charger, Challenger, whatever the case may be, stripes, whatever the case may be, you need to watch out for every Mopar. I've already said that in one of my videos, that you can't trust any Mopar at this point, you know, unless you know that person. If you know that person, do what you do, how you do it. But if you don't know that person and they pull up on you in a 5.7 Hemi with stripes on it, do not assume that that's just one of the bros. Because I'm looking at the website, I'm looking at like 30 state troopers right here, just chilling in front of 2 Dodge Chargers, both of which 5.7 Hemis, both of which have dual stripes. Like, look at that. That's a white Hemi with red stripes, completely unassuming. I'm seeing black Chargers with silver stripes. I'm looking at a white Charger with blue stripes, completely unassuming. And they know what they're doing. They specifically said, let me give it to you this. So the commander of, I guess, South Carolina Highway Patrol, his name is Colonel Christopher Williamson. He's the commander. He refers to the cars as toys, cool toys to get out there and protect people's lives. Those are his words exactly. It's in the article. So, I mean, you know, are we doing our job, or are we having fun, or are we having fun while baiting people while we're doing our job? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a fine line that you kind of have to, you know, walk there, because it's like, at the end of the day, I just feel like it's just another tactic for police officers to bait you guys and bait myself, although that wouldn't happen, bait you guys into a ticket. And then, you know, like I know, that will never hold up in court. If you decide to say, oh, well, that officer took off or he revved his engine, that'll never hold up in court. The fact of the matter is he clocked you doing 90 on the highway or 90 on the street or whatever the case may be, regardless of what he did to initiate the quote unquote race or the reckless driving. It doesn't matter what he did. At the end of the day, none of that's going to hold up in court. And you know that as well as I do. At the end of the day, this is just another ploy to, I mean, just get more drivers, man. And they're going to be releasing these cars on July 4th weekend, which is this weekend, for obvious reasons, because it's the holiday. People will be traveling. People probably will be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. A couple of things to mention here. So they're launching a specific task force in South Carolina with these particular charges. They're calling it the Area Coordinated Enforcement Team, otherwise known as ACE. ACE. I guess they took out the team, so that ACE. And their job is just that, to crack down on quote unquote aggressive driving, reckless driving, anything like that. And of course, they need a white Charger with red racing stripes in order to do that, because they want to blend in. Is it really blending in, or is it blending in so that I can bait you into aggressive driving and then hit you with a ticket? You know what I'm saying? Can I blend in so that I can bait you into reckless driving so that I can hit you with a ticket? They threw all kinds of facts and figures out, or figures anyway, statistics. They said in the year 2020, there were 496 roadway deaths, I guess, in the state of South Carolina. And in 2021, thus far, there's 468. So that's more than 3/4 of the amount of deaths that took place in 2020. Now, mind you, in 2020, we were going through a pandemic and everything was shut down. So there was no traveling. Nobody was driving anywhere. 2021, things are opening up. Holidays, travel, everything's opening up. Quite naturally, there are going to be more accidents on the road. Every trooper will be available this weekend. Every available trooper will be on patrol this weekend in the state of South Carolina. You will see some of those charges out there, because they will be out there. What's interesting is the commander referring to the cars as toys. And the reason I bring that up is because, to my point that I made earlier, I told you it's hot. To my point that I made earlier, are these cars used to do the job, or are these cars used for the sake of baiting people into giving them a ticket while you're doing your job? You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone's doing 95 miles an hour just by themselves, or weaving in and out of traffic by themselves, they deserve a ticket. Hit them with a ticket. That's fine. I got no problem with that. That's good cop work. And you happen to be a state trooper on chill, you know how they like to hide out, or whatever the case may be, and you happen to see this person doing 90 miles an hour, or see this person zigzagging in and out of traffic, and you run up on them and hit them with the ticket, that's perfectly fine. But my concern is, you see a car like mine, a 392 on the highway, you see a Mustang, you see another RT, or you see another Charger or Challenger or Camaro that's got graphics and decals that looks like a car that goes. Let's be honest here. That looks like a car that can move and do what it does best. You see a car like that, and here I am, a cop. I'm in a white Dodge Charger with red racing stripes, and I'm an undercover state trooper, and I pull up next to you, or I pull behind you. I look in the rearview mirror. I see a white Charger with red racing stripes, and he's kind of hanging behind me, and then he pulls to the left of me and kind of gets side by side. I mean, you already know what time it is. You already know what we think is the next, I guess, you know, the next step. You know, it's not right, but that's just how we as car guys think. If you pull up next to me in a 5'7" or another 6'4", hell, even a 6'2", I'll play with you in the 6'2". I do the best I can. You pull up next to me, I mean, you already know what time it is, and they know what time it is, and they know that you know what time it is, and they know that they're going to get you all weekend long. And apparently this isn't just for the sake of 4th of July. Like, this is here to stay. The Area Enforcement, or Area Coordinated Enforcement Team, ACE, is here to stay. Sure, the argument can be made that by them going deeper undercover and trying to blend in, they're going to get reckless drivers who may not be reckless at the time, but could potentially be reckless, who may not be speeding at the time, but who could be speeding potentially, or potentially speeding. But at the same time, I mean, it's obviously not entrapment, but it really feels like a bad case of baiting drivers into doing something and then catching them in the act. Which, once again, free will and accord, you can do as you please. No one told you to take off on that Charger. No one told you to burn your tires in front of that Charger. No one told you to zigzag in and out of traffic because you saw a white Charger with red stripes. No one told you to do that. So, of course, the argument can be made, listen, on your own free will and accord, you chose to take off. Henceforth, the reason that you're getting this ticket, henceforth, the reason I'm hitting you with the reckless driving ticket and you're going to court. If I'm driving a, I don't know, a souped up Toyota Celica or a souped up Honda Civic or BMW or AMG, 9 times out of 10, you're not worried about an RT Charger. Even if you're driving a Camaro or Mustang, you're not worried about an RT Charger. But if you're driving an RT Charger or an SRT Charger and you see a 5.7 pull up next to you and it's kind of giving you the, you know, what would be assumed as the stance of I want to race, the posture of I want to race, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're going to do it. So this could be a ploy to get more of those 392s and get more of those Hellcats off the streets this weekend, because I guess they would imagine that all kinds of reckless driving and aggressive driving is going to be taking place. But me personally, man, I mean, I'm all for the unmarked Charger thing. I mean, do your thing. You know, however helps you, you know, I guess hand out tickets and generate your money for the department, for the city, or whatever the case may be. Do what you do. But the stripes on there, I think that's another level. That's a whole nother level of baiting people. You know, they're targeting us, if you ask me. But, you know, that's just your boy, man. So watch out if you're in South Carolina, if you live in South Carolina, if you're going to be in South Carolina. Watch out for white Chargers with red stripes. Watch out for white Chargers with blue stripes. Watch out for black Chargers with silver stripes. Matter of fact, just watch out for any damn Dodge Charger you see in South Carolina this weekend. How about that? It's been your boy Knockout 360, man. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.